Lewis Clareburt, two-time Olympian, world champ, four-time Commonwealth Games medalist. Dad threw me in the pool at 3.
As a young kid, I probably struggled with confidence. Swimming definitely helped. Wanted to go to the Olympics from a real young age. 2021, I go to my first Olympics and I've sort of been on this swimming journey my whole life. The qualifying time for the actual Commonwealth Games, I was like 0.01 off. I wasn't originally selected for the team, got added to the team and then got the only medal. That really slingshotted, I guess, my motivation and my career.
Do you think success has changed you in any way?
That's a really tough question. The Olympics, the environment is so stressful. People glamourise the Olympics to be like the best thing ever. The amount of media attention around like the Olympic Games is insane. We're going to see the first medal for a New Zealand swimmer in 25 odd years.
What was the initial reaction post-final in that 400 metre?
I was gutted, for sure. I knew that I hadn't put together a good race.
How have you sort of navigated life post-Olympics?
It's hard. It's just like losing your job. Do I still have that goal that I want to be on the podium at another Olympics? And can I actually do that extra 4 years?
Do you feel like you're still scared of failing even now?
I think so. But I know that like I do everything to not fail.
Kia ora everyone, Zach and Jake here from The Martin Show. Just a friendly reminder to please subscribe to our channel. It helps the channel more than you know, and it gives us more opportunity to be able to bring great guests.
We appreciate all the love we have received in 2024. 2025 is going to be a massive year. Enjoy all the episodes coming up, whānau. Much aroha.
To the moon.
Lewis Clareburt, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you very much for having me.
Bro, what do we need to know about you to know a little bit more about who you are and the life you've lived?
Oh, like an intro for my life?
Yeah, brother.
Grew up in Wellington, pretty much lived my whole life in Wellington. Wanted to go to the Olympics from a real young age. Decided that I wanted to follow that journey. Didn't know if it was possible. My first, I guess, memory of wanting to go to the Olympics was 2008. And then 2021, I guess I was able to live that, I guess, dream of mine and go to my first Olympics. And I've sort of been on this swimming journey my whole life. It's been like my only goal my whole life. Yeah.
Wow, the only goal. Dude, I was going to ask you that. So like since 2008, has it been just tunnel vision? How have you been at navigating other opportunities or things that could take your focus or take your attention?
Yeah, I guess it hasn't been tunnel vision as like completely. I reckon it wasn't until I left school, like 2017, that I decided like actually let's do it and let's go full in. So like from 2017, like I've been pretty much like sort of that tunnel vision vibe. And I guess I have had so many different opportunities like outside the pool, but I think my swimming has created those opportunities, you know, like being an athlete, you get to do so many amazing things and travel to all these awesome places. So like swimming is always my like thing. And any of those other opportunities that come across, like they sort of come like after that swimming dream. Yeah.
Like I've heard you mention on another podcast, the question was like, when did you start swimming? You were like, oh man, I don't know. Dad threw me in the pool at 3. Something like that. Eh? Yeah, That's crazy, bro. And actually just to give the people a bit of context, like it's not just any swimmer, a two-time Olympian, an Olympic finalist, a world champ, a four-time Commonwealth Games medalist, like put some respect on the name, bro. That's crazy. Have you ever thought about pivoting from swimming?
As in like life after sport?
No, like has there ever been the thought where you're like, maybe that's me and maybe it's time to stop now?
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, like after Paris, I wasn't like crazy happy with my results. The goal was to be on the podium and I wasn't on the podium. So it did take me a while to figure out actually like, do I want to keep doing this? Do I still have that goal that I want to be on the podium at another Olympics? And can I actually do that extra 4 years? And like it definitely took me a while. And I think I've got unfinished business. Like I still have that goal of being on the podium and I still wanted to do it. And I was still willing to do it. So at the moment, like for me, like I think I still want to do that and I'm still keen for it. And I still like this, I guess this lifestyle that I've got. And my backup plan like I don't think is fully there yet. So like I'm not sure what I want to do completely after sport. So at this stage, like I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. But I've also given myself like 4 years to figure out, like what might be next. Yeah.
Bit of a game plan. Yeah, we'll get to there, bro. We'll get to there. But I wanted to start actually, you mentioned grew up in Wellington, earlier years, because I feel like a lot of athletes, high level athletes, don't really get like a normal childhood. Would you say you had a childhood?
I think I did. I maybe didn't do all of the stuff outside of that maybe a lot of the guys that in like my age did. So like I didn't go partying every weekend. I've never been to R&V. I think I've been to Bay Dreams once, which was like pretty big for me. But I definitely didn't do the traditional grow up, lifestyle. Go to uni, do the first year in halls and stuff. Like that wasn't me. But I think I still have been able to live a pretty regular lifestyle. Like, I mean, for you, like boxing, like you guys train for so much of the year. So you actually are home a lot of the year. And it's the same with me. Like we're grinding all year round. And, we travel quite a bit. But at the end of the day, like most of our time is actually spent at home.
Yeah, I've heard you mention that. Like when I'm not in the pool, I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Martin Show first ad break. For anyone who is wanting to go on a new journey, learn a new skill, we have started our basic beginners boxing fundamentals course. For anyone, if it's your first time, if you're a seasoned member, this is the course for you in the boxing space or fitness space. Click the link below or go to onlineboxingtraining.com and I'll see you guys there. Let's get some mahi, eh?
Yeah, bro. Well, let's go. You mentioned 2017. And I feel like that's sort of when you started to like really make your mark, right? Like you competed at the youth com games in the Bahamas, won like, what was it, 7 medals or something ridiculous like that. Then the year after you win a bronze at the Gold Coast com games, which was a bit of a shock, right? Was that a bit of a shock for most people? Probably not for yourself, but for others?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was a shock for me as well. Like obviously off the back of the com games, I'd done really well. My time was at the time at that stage was 4 minutes and 18 seconds for the 400 medley, which was the age group New Zealand record. And the qualifying time for the actual Commonwealth Games was I think I was like 0.01 off. So I wasn't originally selected for the team at the end of sort of 2017. But Swimming New Zealand, they said, hey, look, like we could find you another spot to be added to the team come early 2018, like just before the games. So I was finishing school and I was like, look, like I could either go to R&V and like party for the summer that might be my last summer with all my schoolmates, or think that I'm going to be at the Commonwealth Games come, April, March or whenever it was. And so I decided that I was going to train as if I was going. And then lucky enough, I got added to the team. And I think I was the only swimmer able-bodied that actually got a medal. So I originally wasn't on the team, got added to the team and then got the only medal. So like for me, it was like a really cool feeling. And that really slingshotted, I guess, my motivation in my career. Like I sort of just had that, I felt like I had that fight, that dog. Like, when you're an athlete and you want to be the best, like you have that motivation to continue to get better. And that time that I did in Com Games was 4 seconds faster than what I did the previous year. And that just made me want to work harder and harder and try get to be the best in the world.
Oh my God, bro. Yeah, so that was like, I guess, more of an internal feeling. I mean, you got a medal, which is kind of external, but was that the first moment or the biggest moment where you were like, fuck, I can really do this. I'm one of the best out there. Was that the first internal moment for you that sort of changed everything?
It was probably, one of the first couple moments. I think my first moment where I thought like I had the feeling of actually I want to do this was when I made my first New Zealand team, and that was like an age group team.
Yeah, bro.
And I went to Hawaii and it was awesome. Like it was the best trip of my life. And I went and we versed like the Americans, Japanese, Australians. And if you know swimming, you know that like they're like some of the best in the world. And I got absolutely smashed. And I hated that feeling of getting beat, like I just hate losing. And so from that moment, that was my first moment where I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this right. And I want to be the best. And then I guess that 2018 moment, it was like, actually like I'm on the right path now. So if I continue down this journey, like I'm going in the right direction.
Well, let's go from 2017 till now. I want to tap into sort of your rise as an athlete. and I guess rise as a person, as a human. Do you think success has changed you in any way?
That's tough, and I guess it probably subconsciously has. I hope it hasn't changed me like how I am as a person, but it definitely has given me opportunities. Yeah, and yeah, that's a really tough question. Yeah,
Because they say, success doesn't change you, but it changes everyone else around you. And so I just wanted to see how your experience from that 2017, that I don't know how old you were then until now, and just your rise and growth. And if it's, because I know what you mean, bro. I feel like you don't think it's changed you at all. Like you feel like I'm still the same Lewis. My goals are rising, my ambitions rising. Things are changing outside me, but maybe not internally. No, I love that, bro. Well, last year in Doha, you win a world championship. Would you say that's like the highlight of your career so far?
I think that was probably one of my hardest moments of my career. Like end of 2023, I think it was. Yeah, I decided that I was going to leave Wellington, and like for me to pick up my stuff and leave a city that, my whole family's there. All my support system, my coach that had coached me since 2016, that was really tough. And I sort of had maybe 5 months with my new coach, who is my current coach now, Mitch. And for 3 or 2, I think it was 2 of those months, I went to America because I had to run away from New Zealand because I was like, I just need to like reset myself and start from scratch and make sure that I'm on a nice playing field when I come back to New Zealand. And so I spent 2 months in Arizona, which was even harder for me because I was meant to go and swim with the university there, and I ended up not getting cleared for like being a professional athlete. So I couldn't actually train with the team. So I was training by myself. So the swim squad would come in, I would watch them do their set, and then I would hop in after and do my own set. So I was training by myself for most of those months building into that, the Doha World Champs. And then also like I guess with a new coach, your relationship is new. You don't know how each other work. And it's like, that's no fault of either of ours, but it was tough to get that relationship going straight into the World Championships. And then also the 400 medley was on the last day of the Doha World Championships. And I had swum like 4 events leading into the 400 medley. And I was trying to go for the Olympic qualifying time in every single one of those. And I missed the qualifying time in every single one of those. And then I missed the qualifying time in the heats in the 400 medley. And I had literally 1 race left to qualify for the Olympic Games. And mum and dad were messaging me like, you haven't qualified yet. Like, not like knowing that, knowing that I knew that, but it was like, we've booked our tickets to Paris.
Wow, bro.
So like they weren't putting pressure on me, but it was like, shit, like we could be selling our tickets.
Oh my God.
And yeah, like I had a decent race, not amazing race, but if you watch the race, like I feel like, I can see myself like in the last 100 meters, like I was head down, like I didn't want to lose that race because I had so much motivation behind me. I'd had all this history of leaving Wellington, motivation of not being able to train with a team in America. And then it was just like, I've got the fight.
Do you feel like you carry that motivation? Is that different? Is that kind of a unique motivation in comparison to all the other events that you've been a part of?
Yeah, I think the struggle or the fight to, I guess, to be looked after in terms of like getting the right lane space, getting the right like everything, like we have to fight for it. And I feel like that motivation for me actually helps me. I want to fight for my team. I want to fight for my family. I want to fight to be the best. And subconsciously, like I hate it because that lifestyle of living in that lifestyle day in, day out isn't healthy. But deep down, I think it definitely helps me in those tough moments.
Do you still think you're the best swimmer in the world?
I mean, I don't think I am, but I want to be. Yeah. And that's probably a good place to be. Like if I know and I think that I'm the best, then like what have I got to work towards? So it gives me motivation that I want to be the best. So I have to keep working towards it, and I can't miss anything. Like I'm very particular about like my day-to-day life and my routine, and I don't necessarily want everything to go right, but I want everything on my end to be the best it can be. So whether that's like eating, sleeping, making sure I'm finishing the whole set and swimming and like not cheating. I don't want to cut corners.
Yeah, bro. And these are the things that no one is seeing, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Well, 6 months after Doha, you competed at the Paris Olympic Games, and this was your second. You competed at Tokyo, the one prior. What were the feelings going into Paris? Did you feel more relaxed because you'd already competed in one? Did you feel more pressure because knowing you had a world title now? What were the feelings going into Paris?
The Olympics, the environment is so stressful, and it's probably not like the greatest place to be. Like I feel like people glamorize the Olympics to be like the best thing ever. Like you have everything, you've got the best facilities, you've got everything you ever need. But sometimes that's bad. Like you've got people asking you, "Are you all right?" Like every 3 seconds. Like what do you need? And it's like sometimes as an athlete you just want to be like left alone and just to do your own thing. So there's two sides of it. You are the most looked after athlete in the world essentially for those 2 weeks. And then the amount of media attention around like the Olympic Games is insane. Like every 5 minutes you're getting asked to comment on something, and they're putting in your head like, are you going to medal? Like, how are you going to do this? Like, are we going to see the first medal for New Zealand swimmer in 25 odd years? And so there's all these like things running through your head, and you have to be able to control that as an athlete. Like, what do you think? Like, if you're getting asked these questions like about your performance, like for the 4 weeks leading up to the Olympic Games, every single day, like how do you like have the downtime? So that was really tough for me. Like I think I handle it generally pretty well, and I can get over things pretty well, but I think it just naturally plays in the back of your head. But I mean, I love the Olympics, and it was what I dreamed to do my whole life, and to be able to go and not just one, to go to two was pretty surreal. Now that I've been to two, like if I want to go again, like I think I know the little things that I want to change. Like I don't want to stay in the village again. I think for me to get away from the village, to get away from the noise would be awesome. So there's little things like that I think like you only can learn when you actually go.
Well, you competed in 3 events, three races. Correct me if my terminology is wrong, but the 200 meter butterfly, 200 meter individual medley, and the 400 individual medley, which is sort of like your main hub, right? What you're known for, your specialty.
Yeah.
And you actually made the final for that, and you finished 6th. What was the initial reaction post final in that 400 meter? Was it relief, or was it disappointment straight away? Or
I was gutted for sure. I knew that I hadn't put together a good race. Like I could just feel it within like when I was swimming it. And I think I'd sort of sucked myself out a little bit halfway through the race. Like I find that for me, like as soon as I start thinking bad about something, like then it's not good. Yeah. So I like, if I'm having a good race, or even if I'm not having a good race, but I'm thinking positively, then it's going to be good. But yeah, I think I just sucked myself out, decided that I wasn't doing very well, and then couldn't pull it back, which is unfortunate. It wasn't a horrible swim, but I was like 2 seconds over my personal best. And I knew I should have done better, but I didn't.
Post Olympics, a lot of people, they call it like the Olympic blues. And like, you can even converse this to life, like relevancy versus irrelevancy. Like, someone might make a certain amount of money or get a bit of recognition, acknowledgement, and they feel relevant. They're like, yeah. And then when that sort of fades, they may struggle or, feel irrelevant then. How have you sort of navigated life post Olympics?
It's hard. I feel like if I was to try explain it to a person that works a normal job, it's just like losing your job. Like you come home and you don't have anything to train for because the main event is just finished. The next main event seems like light years away, essentially like I guess 4 years until the next biggest one, so the next Olympics. And then you've been looked after in the build up super well, and then essentially you come home and you've got to fit back into that normality of life and figure out what you want to do. And so it is really tough to come home and actually figure out like how you want to live your life moving forward. And yeah, I reckon it took me 6 months before I actually was like, I want to train again.
Yeah, wow.
Like I did a competition after Paris, like maybe 3 months later, just to keep myself like in the sport. And that was really fun. Like the goal wasn't to be the best. Like I just wanted to go out there and like try and enjoy racing again. And I think that helped me get back into the mindset of actually like, I want to do this again. But yeah, like it wasn't until I'm going to say end of December that I had any motivation to swim. And it was annoying because I really wanted to have a good summer, but I got that motivation to train again like right before Christmas. So I trained myself all the way through Christmas and New Year's because I was like, I'm back, like let's do it.
Yeah, wow. Do you still enjoy swimming now, like today?
Yeah, for sure. Like I mean, I have aspects where I'm like, oh, I just don't want to be here. I think everyone has those aspects, but for me, like it's those ones that the bad experiences or the bad times you turn up to training those are the important ones. Like when you're having a bad day, like those are the ones you need to focus on to actually be better, because essentially when you go to race, like you've got to expect to be the worst version of yourself. And so like if you can motivate yourself in the bad times, then you're going to be pretty good.
Lewis, where does your sense of worth come from?
I think like a mixture of training, performance, happiness, my relationships outside of my sport, and then, my close-knit like group. If we're all like working really well together, getting along, I think at the end of the day, like that's worth so much. Yeah.
What are the areas that you feel like you need to work on going forward? Anything?
Ooh. I am not good. For me, I feel like I'm a pretty good communicator and pretty empathetic, but in the really tough times, I struggle, like, I guess having those tough conversations with people, say for example, some of my squad mates might be having a really tough time. Like I'm not very good at being like, how's it going sort of thing. Yeah, right. Like I like to think that I would be that person, but like I really tough. Like I find that really tough. But yeah, like I feel like there's so many things that I'm working on, like just generally. So yeah, it's hard to nail it down to one thing.
You and me both, brother. I guess I've heard you say as well that you were only wanting to swim, only wanting to work until Paris, and then you were going to make your decision post Paris, I guess. What your future looks like. Where are you now in regards to what your future looks like in regards to swimming?
Like I want to do another 4 years of like, I want to go to LA. I think LA will be like a pretty awesome Olympic Games experience.
Let's bloody go, baby. 3-2, baby.
Yeah, do the 3. Ideally, I want to be on the podium as well. Like LA podium, that's the goal. But ultimately, my goal is just to have fun and enjoy this journey. Like I'm definitely on the back end of my career, I think. Like I'm not 16 anymore. I'm 25, turning 26. So in swimming age, like I'm not young anymore. Like I'm swimming with guys that are 18 on a daily basis. So, I'm the sort of veteran. But I'm just taking essentially like day by day. Like I think like if I get 2 years down the track and that goal of, being at the Olympics and wanting to be on the podium, if it disappears, then like, I think like I would be happy to walk away from the sport. So if I don't make it, then I don't make it. But as long as I'm enjoying this experience and I can continue to live this life, then like I don't see why I don't keep going. Yeah.
What do you feel like you have to do differently in the lead up to LA?
I think I have to really work on like my mindset and like throughout like that competition period. I've been working through like with my psychologist to figure out what makes me tick and like what exactly I can do to put me in the right mindset. And he asked me to I guess put a picture in my mind of what I want to look like in LA, sorry. And I sent him a photo of a police dog. And I love the analogy of a police dog because ultimately they're these really cuddly little dogs. But when they need to be put to work, like they turn into like this crazy attack dog. And I want to be like that. Like I want to be cuddly and nice when I'm outside the pool. But when I'm in the pool, like I want to turn into an attack dog and just keep fighting. So that's what I want to, I guess that's where I picture myself in LA.
Wow, I love that. Yeah, bro. I even can think of even certain boxers or mixed martial artists like Israel Adesanya is very similar, that are like absolute warriors, you know, competitive, psycho competitors, but also like, I call it a gentle soul, you know, on the outside. Wow, an attack dog.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that analogy. I love it, bro. Do you feel like you have the same level of drive, of hunger to go another 3 years? Well, 4 years, but 3 years now, I guess.
Yeah. I think like at the start, I didn't. But now that I'm sort of building into the year, like it really has come, like I've come a long way in terms of my motivation and drive. And I definitely am super focused on like the goal at hand. Like I definitely think it's there, and I hope it continues to build. Like I think there's still more to come, but I think I need to find that healthy balance of like focus and then also being like finding the joys and the things outside of life that make it good as well. Yeah. Like I struggle to find that, I think that balance, like when I'm in that zone, like all I want to do is like train, rest.
If you had to go deeper, where do you think that drive comes from? Where do you think that the desire to want to be the best, where do you think that comes from?
I'm not sure. I think it was like instilled by my parents. Like both mum and dad worked so hard they worked hard for us kids. Like I've got two older sisters, and, you know, I guess growing up, we weren't the wealthiest in my friend group, but my mum and dad worked so hard for us to have every opportunity. Mum used to tell me when I was growing up that she never got the opportunity to do organized sport. So she wanted to play netball and all these other sports, but because she was in such a big family and they couldn't pay for, you know, for the kids to be in organized sport. You know, that's all she wanted her kids to do. She wanted us to, if we wanted to do something, you know, we had that opportunity. So I used to play every single sport under the sun. I played golf. I did road cycling, rugby, tennis. Tennis is so expensive, and mum and dad were like, you're doing it if you want to do it. Yeah. So I think that drive and motivation has been instilled by my parents because they work so hard to give us every opportunity. And I sort of wanted to not necessarily give back to them, but like I think that just their work ethic was, I guess, instilled into me.
Oh my God, yeah, bro. I had a very, very similar. Had a conversation with Israel Adesanya's therapist about this, and she was questioning me and I said a relatively similar thing. It was mainly my mom, and I said I feel like it's a duty of mine to give back to my mom, and she sort of questioned me, bro, and was like, because that puts a lot of pressure, you know, when you're using that language, it's a duty of mine to give back to my mom, to give back to my parents. And she was like, you should try reframe it and from a place of, I get to do this for my mom's well-being. You know, I get to do it. I don't, it's not a duty. I don't have to put that so much weight. And I feel like since then, I'm trying to enjoy it as opposed to like, I need to do this because I want to make sure my mom has this good life because she's given me this good life. You know, these opportunities that your parents have given you.
100%.
So I can relate to that. What do you feel like you're scared of? What do you feel like is your biggest fear?
I think growing up was like failure. Like I think like from that time I first represented New Zealand, like that was a failure for me. And the failure motivated me to want to be the best. I think that's my biggest fear. I'm not too sure. Yeah.
Do you feel like you're still scared of failing even now?
I think so. But I know that like I do everything to not fail. Yeah. Like even if I do fail, at least I know that I have ticked every single box I can along the way to not fail.
So the trust in the preparation really,
Yeah, 100%. And if I don't trust my preparation, if I don't trust my coach, I don't trust like the whole system that I've been brought up in, then I fail when I get on the start line because I have one thing missing, sort of thing. So I have to put my full trust in my whole system.
Welcome to the Martin Show First Ad Break. For anyone who is wanting to go on a new journey, learn a new skill, we have started our basic beginners boxing fundamentals course. For anyone, if it's your first time, if you're a seasoned member, this is the course for you in the boxing space or fitness space. Click the link below or go to onlineboxingtraining.com and I'll see you guys there. Let's get some mahi, eh?
Yeah. I heard you say 22 hours a week in the water. Crazy. A couple of fire-off questions, bro. What's the best advice you've ever received?
It was from one of my first principals, and he used to say this quote every single assembly, and it was, "If it's meant to be, it's up to me." And that essentially means like if you want to do it, then you got to do it. Like you can't rely on anyone else. Like you have to go out there and go after it.
Reminds me of responsibility, right? Like take responsibility for your life.
100%. Yeah.
What's the worst advice you've ever received?
Swimming isn't going to help you do anything in life, from one of my teachers at school. But I think they jokingly said that, but it was like, I reckon I can, like internally I was like, I think swimming is going to give me opportunities in life. And it has. And even though maybe the things I do in the water, I haven't got an Olympic medal, but this journey of swimming has given me so many opportunities outside of the pool that I think will help me in life.
Do you think about life after swimming?
All the time, yeah. And I think after Paris, it really like put a magnifying glass on that. Wow. Like I wasn't sure if I would still have this opportunity to continue swimming. Like, was I going to be supported financially to actually keep going? I lost a couple major sponsors after Paris, and that's just what happens. They're with you for 4 years, and then you sort of part ways after the big one. And so it is scary, like being able to figure out like if you can continue doing this thing. Yeah.
Oh my God. Who do you know that I should know?
Ooh. I don't know. Far out.
This one always tricks people up, bro. They're like, oh shit.
I honestly.
If me and you right now, we're going to go have breakfast, have a coffee, who would you want to bring?
I reckon I'd bring my parents. My mum and dad are so like, they're similar, but they're not the same. I was talking to my mum the other day and I told her she should have grown up being a psychologist because any situation, she just seems so calm. Yeah. And she's always like doesn't matter. Like for me, like if I'm having the worst day of my life and I'm so stressed, I talk to her and she's just like, gives it to me how it is. She's so calm. And she gives me like great advice. And my dad, he is like loves asking questions, and like I've grown up being like asked so many questions from him, and I've sort of taken his, like I ask a lot of questions as well. So like they're similar, but they're so different. Yeah. So I'll bring you coffee with mum and dad.
Yeah, mum and dad. See you guys at the next coffee. Speaking of though, bro, you got a lot coming up. What's coming up? You're off to Aussie tomorrow or the next day?
This year's an interesting year because like obviously off the back of Paris last year, like we're sort of just playing around with different things. So we did altitude in Wellington. We stayed at an altitude hotel for 3 weeks. And we sort of explored to see if that's going to help me with swimming, doing a little bit more racing. I've always wanted to do this swimming tour in Europe called the Mare Nostrum Swim Tour. So you get to go to Monaco, Barcelona, and I think it's called Canet. I'm not sure. Someone told me it's pronounced Cannes or Cannes or something, which is in France.
Oh, wow.
But it's this awesome swim tour that a lot of like the really good swimmers around the world go to. So yeah, like I just want to go and have fun and explore different opportunities that I've never done before. And so yeah, like next week I'm starting that journey to go overseas and race and train. I'm training with the national Spanish team for 2 weeks. I hope they speak English, but I know the coach definitely speaks English, but I don't know about the other athletes. I'm actually rooming with one of them, I'm pretty sure. So that's going to be a whole different experience. And, just trying to try new things. I think as an athlete, like you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah, bro.
And so that's putting me in like a super uncomfortable position. One, I probably don't speak the language and I have to room with one of their guys. So yeah, that'll be a cool experience.
Oh, dude, that's exciting. Future Lewis, 5-10 years. I know you just said you've been thinking a little bit about post-swimming, and 5-10 years, where do you want to see yourself?
I think I'm super motivated in general life. So, I mean, I hope that I find something, hopefully in 10 years, I find that one thing that I want to work at, I want to strive for, I want to be better in that aspect. I've toyed up with so many different career paths after this swimming journey. And I'm not sure if I want to go with any of them. I sort of feel like like we were talking before, like I want to be my own boss. So I'd love to create something that like I can run myself and I can strive to improve and be better. If that's a business, that'd be pretty cool. But I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I'd love to have kids, obviously. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh man, what is it? If it's on me, it's up to me.
Yeah, if it's meant to be, it's up to me.
If it's meant to be, it's up to me. There we go. I want to go to younger Lewis. Any age. I was going to say the Lewis that was about to start swimming, but he was 3. So we'll go to yeah. Maybe the Lewis. Any age you want, bro. What's the one thing you want to say to him?
Be confident. Yeah, like I think as a young kid, I probably struggled with confidence in myself. And I remember one of my first memories I moved schools. I went to the school called Scots College in Wellington, and it was like a super prestigious private boys' school at the time. And I got moved down spelling groups because I couldn't spell very well. I mean, I wasn't in the worst group, but then I got moved to the worst group. And my teacher sat me down. He's like, Lewis, like we're going to have to move you down spelling groups. And I cried. And I was like, shit, like this is like, I'm down at the bottom. And yeah, like I just had no confidence in myself and my ability to move forward. And like I was such a nervous little kid. I didn't really talk much all the way until I left school. So I think just like being more confident and yeah, like I think that gets people so far. Yeah.
What helped you, bro? Because there'll be many other lads that are listening that will probably feel that certain feeling of not being confident in who they are. What sort of helped you gain confidence? Was it swimming?
Yeah, I think swimming definitely helped with my confidence and my ability to talk to people. My parents were so good to me. Like when I was growing up, I went through so many phases of like, I was really good at swimming. I wasn't very good at swimming. Then I was really good at swimming again. And I think what helped me was just trusting the process. Like knowing that, when you're growing up, especially as an athlete, like kids develop earlier than other kids. And they just naturally have a better ability to be better than you when they're more developed. So just being able to trust my processes. And yeah, I think swimming definitely gave me the confidence to come out of my shell and to be actually myself. Like I didn't really find myself until, I found that confidence.
Yeah, finding your thing, eh? Lewis Clareburt, brother. Any final words, man?
No, I think we've pretty much covered everything.
Yeah,
my whole life.
Yeah. Hey, it's a bloody amazing story. We do have a closing tradition on this podcast where the previous guest asked the next guest a question, not knowing who they are. The question for you today is, what is your go-to karaoke song?
Damn. My favorite artist is Dua Lipa. And she was in Auckland not long ago, but I didn't go.
Oh,
Yeah, but Dua Lipa. But I don't know any of the songs. Oh, but I don't know like if I could. I've never done karaoke to one of her songs. I want to say like the one that first comes into my head is Dancing Queen.
yeah.
But I don't know if I'd actually like be very good at it. I'm a horrible singer, so like. But let's just go with Dancing Queen. But I love Dua Lipa.
Yeah. Oh, I love it, bro. Where can the people find you, man?
Instagram, TikTok. My handle's Lewis_Clareburt.
Lewis Clareburt, man. Thank you for being here, brother.
Thank you.
All
Thanks
the best with your tournaments coming up, all the travels. Learn Spanish, Duolingo, I think, is an app you might get familiar with. My brother. We will drop Lewis's socials, all the stuff below. We'll also drop _the Martin Show right here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we're going to be back next week for another episode. Kia ora whanau. Thank you.